You want more confidence. Great. But let's get one thing straight. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's not a personality trait. It's not reserved for the lucky few who always seem to have it all together. Confidence is a skill. It's built. It's earned. And if you want it, you've got to do the work to create it. No one's going to hand it to you. And frankly, you don't need them to. Confidence comes from one place and one place only: action. You don't wake up one day and magically feel ready. You decide to move even when you're scared, even when you doubt yourself, even when your inner critic is screaming, "You can't do this." You do it anyway. That's where confidence is born, not in your thoughts, not in your intentions, in your choices. If you're sitting around waiting to feel confident before you go after what you want, let me be brutally honest with you, you're going to be waiting forever. Confidence comes from doing the thing. It's not a prerequisite. It's the result. You want to feel better about yourself. Then you have to do things that show yourself what you're capable of. You build self-respect by keeping promises to yourself. You build strength by taking one step after another, even when they're small. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Confidence isn't built in your comfort zone. It's built in the moments you push through fear. When you speak up in that meeting, when you finally hit publish on that post, when you stop apologizing for who you are, that's when your brain starts to say, hey, maybe I can do this. But it's not going to happen if you keep shrinking, hiding. You don't waiting for permission. You don't need anyone's permission to be powerful. You don't need anyone to validate your worth. You've just forgotten how strong you are. And it's time to remind yourself, start showing up like the person you want to become. Walk like her, talk like her, make decisions like her. You already have everything you need. It's just buried under years of self-doubt, people-pleasing, and playing small. You've got to take ownership of your life. Stop blaming your past. Stop saying, I've never been confident. Who cares? You can start now. You can train your brain to believe in yourself by taking action. Use the 5-second rule, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Interrupt the fear, step into courage, because that's what confidence is. It's the willingness to try. Confidence isn't loud. It's not about arrogance or pretending. It's quiet. It's calm. It's the deep knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That kind of confidence, it's forged in discomfort. It's shaped in the fire of every time you said, this is hard, but I'm doing it anyway. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You need more action. One decision at a time, one bold move at a time. That's how you boost your confidence. That's how you unlock your potential. And that's how you become the unstoppable force you were born to be. Let's break the biggest myth wide open right now. Confidence is not something you either have or you don't. It's not coded into your DNA. It's not some magical gift reserved for the loudest person in the room or the one who always seems to have their life together. That's not confidence. That's performance. Real confidence is a skill. And that's fantastic news, because it means it's something you can learn, develop, and strengthen just like any other skill. But most people don't realize that. Most people think confidence is about personality. They say things like, oh, she's just naturally confident, or I've never been confident, that's just how I am. No, that's just how you've practiced being. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a habit. And like any habit, it starts with small choices that compound over time. Think about it this way. You weren't born knowing how to drive a car or give a presentation. You learned through doing, failing, adjusting, and trying again. You built competence, and that competence led to confidence. But when it comes to the stuff that really matters, like putting yourself out there, speaking your truth, starting something new, we back away and say, I don't feel confident enough. Guess what? You're not supposed to feel confident at the beginning. Confidence comes from the doing. You build confidence by taking action, especially when you don't feel ready. You build it every time you raise your hand, even when your heart is racing. Every time you go to that event alone, every time you post something you believe in, knowing some people might not agree. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's your willingness to act in spite of it. That's what rewires your brain. That's what teaches you that you're capable. But here's the catch. If you keep avoiding the uncomfortable stuff, if you keep saying, I'm just not confident enough yet, you're reinforcing the exact belief that's holding you back. You're telling your brain, I can't handle it. And your brain listens. It wants to protect you. It wants to keep you safe, but safe doesn't grow you. Safe doesn't stretch you. Safe doesn't change your life. You have to start practicing confidence like you would practice a new language or a sport. Show up, mess up, keep going, do it again tomorrow. That's how you build real, unshakable confidence. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Soon, what used to terrify you becomes your new normal. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to pretend. You just need to train for it. So let's stop calling ourselves shy or awkward or not the confident type. That's just a story. And you can rewrite that story starting today. Confidence is not who you are, it's what you practice. Here's something you need to hear, and I mean really hear it. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes after. Most people get this backwards. They sit around waiting for that magical moment when they suddenly feel ready, when their doubts disappear, when the fear vanishes, and they call it procrastination or perfectionism. But let's be honest, it's just a lack of belief that they can handle what comes next. And that belief, it's built through action, period. If you want to feel more confident, you need to move. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for some inner voice to suddenly whisper, "You've got this." That voice, it shows up after you've already proven to yourself that you can do hard things. That's the way confidence works. You have to make the first move. You have to push past the resistance. You have to go before you're ready. Think of any area of your life where you've grown. Seriously, look at your own history. The first time you tried something new, you were terrified. You second-guessed everything, maybe you even failed, but you kept going, you showed up again, you tried again, and guess what? Eventually, it didn't feel so hard. That's because confidence showed up, but only after you got uncomfortable. Only after you acted. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to make you successful. So when you're about to do something unfamiliar, starting a conversation, launching a business, asking for a raise, your brain freaks out. It sends you into analysis mode. It tells you to overthink it, delay it, doubt yourself. It whispers, "What if you fail?" Or "What will they think of you?" That's not the truth. That's fear trying to protect you from discomfort. And you have to push through it anyway. The fastest way to interrupt that fear is simple act. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission. Use the 5-second rule, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Make the call, hit send, speak up, post it, walk in. Whatever it is, do it. That's when your confidence starts to build. Not because the outcome was perfect, but because you proved to yourself that you could take action despite the fear. And let me tell you, that's how confident people operate. They're not fearless, they're just trained. They've built the muscle of acting before doubt takes over. They've conditioned themselves to move through resistance instead of negotiating with it. And every single one of us can do the same thing. It's not a gift, it's a discipline. So stop telling yourself you need to feel confident. Before you take the leap, you need to do the thing. Confidence will catch up. You want to change your life. You want to feel like you're in control. Start showing your brain what you're capable of through action, through decisions, through movement. That's where the real transformation begins. That's where the power lies. And that's how you start building the kind of confidence that doesn't crack under pressure. Let me tell you something game-changing, something that can literally flip the switch in your brain starting today. You have 5 seconds. That's it. 5 seconds between knowing what you need to do and talking yourself out of it. And in that tiny window of time, your entire future can be shaped. This is where the 5-second rule comes in. It sounds simple because it is, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can use to build confidence and take control of your life. Here's how it works. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you move. You don't wait. You don't hesitate. You don't let fear creep in. You just act. Why does this work? Because your brain is designed to protect you from change, from risk, from effort. The second it senses discomfort, it pulls the emergency brake. But when you count down and move before your brain has a chance to stop you, you interrupt that automatic fear response. And what you're doing in that moment is training yourself. You're proving in real time that you are the kind of person who acts, not waits, not overthinks, not self-sabotages. You're building the identity of a confident person, one decision at a time. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to beat your brain to the punch. Let me give you a real example. You wake up in the morning and you know you should get out of bed and start your day, but you don't feel like it. Your brain says, let's just scroll for a while. Let's hit snooze. You've been there, right? But if you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and throw off the covers before your brain has a chance to negotiate, you win. And every time you do that, your confidence builds. because you're keeping a promise to yourself. And that is huge. This applies to everything. Want to speak up in a meeting? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it. Want to go to the gym? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your shoes on. Want to tell someone how you feel? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make the call. The 5-second rule is not about being fearless. It's about moving with the fear and not letting it dictate your behavior, because fear will always be there. Doubt will always be there, but they don't have to be in charge. And here's what's amazing. The more you use it, the less you need it. Because over time, your brain stops defaulting to hesitation. It starts expecting action. It starts trusting that when you say you'll do something, you do it. That's what builds real confidence, not motivational quotes, not fake positivity. Action. So if you're sitting around waiting for the right mood or the right moment or the right level of confidence to suddenly appear, stop. It's not coming. But your power is in your next decision. Use the 5-second rule and take it. Your life doesn't change in a year. It changes in 5 seconds. Let's get real about something that's holding you back way more than you realize. You want to be more confident. You want to stop second guessing yourself, comparing yourself, shrinking when you should be stepping up. Then you've got to stop talking to yourself like a hater, because that inner dialogue, the one that's criticizing your every move, replaying your failures, doubting your worth, that voice is destroying your confidence from the inside out. Most of us are walking around with an inner critic that sounds more like a bully than a best friend. And here's the thing, if someone else talked to you the way you talk to yourself, you'd cut them out of your life immediately. But because it's coming from your own mind, you accept it. You believe it. You let it run the show, and it's killing your potential. Confidence isn't just built by actions, it's reinforced by the words you say to yourself after you act. You can take a risk, speak up, try something new, but if afterward you trash talk yourself, call yourself stupid, overanalyze everything you did wrong, you're tearing down all the progress you just made. It's like building a house and then setting it on fire. You can't build confidence on a foundation of self-hate. You have to learn to coach yourself, not crush yourself. That doesn't mean lying to yourself. That doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It means shifting the way you speak to yourself so that your words build you up instead of break you down. It means noticing when the negative loop kicks in and replacing it with something that fuels you forward. And I'm not talking about cheesy affirmations that feel fake. I'm talking about speaking to yourself with the same tone you'd use with a friend you believe in. Because the truth is, your brain believes what you repeat. If you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, your brain finds evidence to back that up. If you tell yourself, I'm figuring it out, your brain finds evidence to support that too. So when you mess up, and you will because you're human, you don't say, I'm such an idiot. You say, okay, that didn't go how I planned, but I'm learning. When you're nervous, you don't say, I can't do this. You say, I felt this before and I've done hard things anyway. When you look in the mirror, you don't pick yourself apart. You look for one thing to appreciate. One thing to say, hey, I see you and I've got your back. This isn't about ego. It's about rewiring your brain to support your growth instead of sabotage it. You will never unlock your full potential if your mind is your enemy. You have to become your own ally. That's what confident people do. They talk to themselves with compassion. They course correct without cruelty. They own their mistakes without turning them into proof that they're worthless. Every time you catch yourself speaking harshly, I want you to interrupt it. Replace it. Say something that builds resilience, not regret. Confidence grows when you learn to speak power into your own life, one sentence at a time. So stop waiting for the world to validate you. Start validating yourself with your words, your thoughts, and your tone. That's how the real transformation begins. Let me say something that might make you a little uncomfortable, but you need to hear it. Your environment. It's either lifting you up or dragging you down. There's no neutral space when it comes to your growth, your mindset, or your confidence. The people you surround yourself with, the energy you consume, the conversations you engage in, they're either fueling your fire or they're pouring water on it. And if you're serious about unlocking your potential, you've got to protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Now, I'm not just talking about cutting people off. I'm talking about becoming ruthlessly intentional about who and what you give your time, focus, and emotional energy to. You've got goals, right? Dreams, something bigger you want to build or become. Then look around. Ask yourself, do the people in your life want to see you win? Or do they keep you small because they're afraid of what your growth says about their stagnation? Listen to me. Confident people, successful people, fulfilled people don't spend their time in spaces that drain them. They don't hang around with gossip, negativity, drama, or low standards. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, cheer for them, call them out, and pull them forward. You've got to get honest. If the energy you're around is constantly triggering your insecurity, your self-doubt, or your fear of judgment, it's not worth it. Period. This also means protecting your mental environment. What are you feeding your brain with? The endless scroll of other people's highlight reels on social media? The news cycle that thrives on fear? Or are you consuming books, podcasts, and conversations that expand your thinking and empower your next step? You become what you surround yourself with, and that includes content. And let's be real, it takes courage to set these boundaries. To say no to the friend who always wants to keep you stuck. To mute the voices that make you feel not enough. To walk away from environments that once felt comfortable but no longer align with the person you're becoming. But that's what growth looks like. It looks like letting go of what's familiar to make space for what's next. And it starts with you deciding my energy is sacred. Your confidence grows when you consistently put yourself in rooms where your voice is heard, your goals are respected, and your worth isn't up for debate. When you start prioritizing peace over pleasing people. When you realize that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to, you don't have to justify your boundaries, your silence, or your choices to people who don't get it. You're not here to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You're here to expand into your own greatness. So every time you feel yourself shrinking around someone, dimming your light, holding back your dreams, pay attention. That's your gut telling you this is not your space anymore. That discomfort, that's your signal to level up, not settle down. You owe it to yourself to create an environment that reflects the future you're building, not the past you're leaving behind. Protect your energy because your confidence is counting on it. Let me tell you something